Hey guys, welcome to the Fantasy Debate. I'm your host, Sam Holt, and I'm joined today by Ryan Levy from Fantasy Focused. We are brought to you by the original Hooters. Ryan, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm honored to be here as part of the Fantasy Debate. This is my first appearance. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for sitting in for Jerick Tate, who is off celebrating his birthday. Lucky him. Hope he is wasted right now. That would be awesome. So bunch of, fantasy news over the weekend. We've kind of covered it. On Sunday, we went over Andrew Luck's retirement. We went over Lamar Miller's injury. If you guys want to go back to that, please check out Fantasy Focused, and we cover that in way more detail. Thankfully, nothing else too crazy has happened this week, but we'll just jump right into a few other subjects while we're waiting for some questions to come in. We're here to answer those draft day questions for you guys, even week one lineup questions. With those people being missing, we want to be sure we answer those questions. So, Ryan, let's talk a little bit about Jerick McKinnon and his status.
Yeah, excited to jump into this because I was already kind of high on Tevin Coleman and Matt Breida for that matter. So apparently he suffered a setback today or sometime this week. Mm-hmm. For me, he was already a guy that I wasn't drafting anyway, but it kind of increases the stock of those two guys for me. And maybe even if you're in a really deep league, like 16 teamer, I know our boy Tater loves him some Raheem Mostert as well.
Is that just because it's another name he doesn't know fully how to pronounce?
Probably. That's a good point. Fair point.
I hope he's been practicing how to say etc. because I can't hear him say etc. anymore.
Yes, hopefully.
We got one question in on the Fantasy Debates Instagram. The question is Chubb a first rounder?
Ooh. For me, he is. I'll take him at the back half of the first round. Mm-hmm. You know, I've snagged him in the second round in a couple leagues, but I do like him. I'm going to lean Chubb over any of the top tier wide receivers in the first round of my drafts. What about you?
I mean, is that even including in PPR for you?
Yeah, because he can catch the ball out of the backfield. I know there's the looming Kareem Hunt in week 9 or week 10, whatever it is, after his suspension. But, Duke Johnson's gone. I'm not afraid of other guys catching the ball out of the backfield in that offense. So I feel good about him.
For me, I feel like, and just in the drafts that I've done, he has just fallen to the second round. So I'm very much someone that likes to have at least, my running back and my wide receiver, 2 studs to start off my draft. So I have seen him going in the beginning of the second round, and I really like taking him there and then getting my star receiver first. That's just for me, at least in PPR specifically.
Yeah, I know you take a bit of a different approach. I'm not afraid to take like 3 running backs in a row in a draft by any means.
And I'm not going to say that, there's not a lot of things that scare me in life, but stability on my fantasy football team is probably at the top of the list of my realistic fears. My other fears are very irrational.
That's funny. But just to give you an example, I've had like 4 or 5 drafts already, and was it last night or the night before? I picked in the 7th spot, ended up with David Johnson, and on the way back I got Chubb. So to give you an idea of roughly where he's going, like you said, he's going in the second round. I think it's a good spot for him.
Yeah, I think that second spot, it feels right for him just because I feel like there's so much other value a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
A little bit sooner. Do we have any questions on YouTube? I can't see it from the side.
Yeah, I just got one. If from Fredley Jimenez, if Drake is traded, is Balaj worth a pick? Why don't you jump in on that one first, Sam?
Don't really want to go back on what I've said on previous shows and that I'm kind of fading the entire Miami offense. However, if he does get traded, I would not mind picking him up way later as like a backup to a flex position.
Okay. I kind of have taken a different approach on this backfield for the most part of this offseason already. I'm actually picking up Kalen Balaj regardless. He looked really good this preseason. And at a 10th round or later price tag, I'm going to take Kalen Balaj all day. I mean, the situation of Kenyon Drake is certainly frustrating. I've been a Drake believer for a long time, and I know he finished, I think, as like the top. I think he was number 16 in PPR formats last year, and it seemed like he was very inconsistent. He had a lot of garbage time yardage and catches. So he has his own value. I think they both have standalone value, but whether he's traded or not, I still think Kalen Ballage is worth a 10th round pick. If he's not traded, that's all I'm taking him. I'm not taking him sooner than that. But if he is traded, I'll bump him up to like the 7th round.
Gotcha. Now, I have maybe missed this today because it's been one of those crazy actual work days where I can't look at football in the middle of the day. But are there teams that are standing out to take him? Like, have the Texans been talking about that? I know they probably want to get somebody else on the team. I know we've talked before about wouldn't it be great if Melvin Gordon went there, but
yeah, that's the only name or only team I should say that I've heard linked to Kenyon Drake. Who knows? They've also, maybe it's going to be a package deal where they trade Jadeveon Clowney with him because he's been linked to that for Jeremy Tunsil. So
that's crazy. I mean, I feel like something's going to happen. It's probably going to happen, tomorrow after we're done recording. I can't take any questions on it, but that's okay. That's just how it goes.
Right. So we started our discussion though with the 49ers backfield, and we got a question on Instagram here. So I want to jump back into that. So here in the chat, someone wanted to know Coleman or Breda over Coleman, fantasy foosballer 671. Thanks for jumping in. Sam, I'll let you dive into that one first.
I will say yes on Breda over Coleman. I think also because where you can get him in the draft value wise, you'll be happier with the results you get. I know he performed a lot better as far as stats go in the preseason, although I don't try and take too much of that into consideration because most teams are trying different things in the preseason. But I would, if it were me, I would pick Breda over Coleman.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you talk about ADP, Breda's going like 92.5 in that range right now in PPR formats. Coleman's going at like 56. I like both of these guys a lot. I mean, if you're just joining us on Instagram now, we're on YouTube here live as well. So join us on there if you're having trouble hearing us. But I was high on Coleman and Breda before the McKinnon news, so they're definitely bumped up a bit for me. I'm going Coleman. I think 5th round is good value for him, but you're getting more value with Breda in the 9th round.
Yeah, I think, I think you're definitely getting more value with him in the later round there. Any other YouTube questions? I'm trying to look at our Instagram in the meeting too.
Yeah, let's see. How would it affect Duke Johnson Jr. if Drake lands in Texas? I mean, I think it puts Duke Johnson into the position he should be in because I personally don't think he's a lead running back. What about you, Sam?
Well, I don't know that he's not a lead running back, but I think that he has a good opportunity there with Watson to be something special just because he has that opportunity. And I think that because he's coming from the Browns where it was just so crowded, I think he has more options here. I also know that with Kiki Cutie being out week 1, he's also going to have more looks for receptions, at least in week 1. I think it's a little too early to speculate. You can't really say you can't count your running backs before they've hatched and say, well, what if Drake moves? Am I not going to take Duke Johnson? I think Duke Johnson's value has probably gone up in ADP over this past week. But yeah. I also think that there is still value there for the catches, at least in PPR.
Yeah, I hear you. Duke Johnson's value is going up too much for me. I think right now in PPR, he's sitting at like 70. So 6th round or so. Tater even got his bold to say he would take him in the 5th round, which is,
he's a bold man.
That is absurd to me.
I want crazy things.
Duke Johnson is nowhere near a 5th round player for me by any means. We got another question.
7th round is comfortable.
Yeah, I hear you. From Miguel Carmona on Instagram. Thanks for jumping in. Curtis Samuel, Dante Pettis, or Christian Kirk, Sam?
Curtis Samuel, Dante Pettis, or Christian Kirk. I mean, I'm excited about Kyler Murray this year, so I might go Christian Kirk with that list.
Okay, so Sam is leaning Christian Kirk. I like Christian Kirk. He was just a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, I mean this preseason, at the same time, we haven't seen the true form of this air raid offense. They've kind of held their cards close to their chest this preseason, which I think is exciting. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I know Tate and I had both been hyping up Christian Kirk this offseason, and he just hadn't shown up much in the preseason. But for me, I'm going Curtis Samuel here. It looks like Cam Newton's playing in week 1. And they've been raving about this guy. I know there's a lot of coach speak in preseason, but I'll stick with my guns and go Curtis Samuel. Dante Pettis is by far the worst of the three for me there.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there. The thing with Cam too is they said that if it had been an injury that he sustained in season, he would have played through it. So that's some confidence too, and Cam's playability going forward is they were just being overly cautious and not letting him play the rest of the preseason. So that's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Freddie said Fredley's also joining us all the way from Puerto Rico on YouTube. So thanks for joining us. Pretty cool. I got another one for you, Sam, from Alan. Alan is a Browns fan, but he wants to know Odell Beckham or Evans from the Buccaneers.
Ooh. Well, Tater will be mad, but I might go Odell there.
I think this is so Sam's saying Odell. I think you can consider this a safe pick either way.
Yeah.
Part of me is just like there's so many mouths to feed in Cleveland, but then the other part of me is like that means they can't necessarily double team him, so he can do more with less.
Yeah.
But
I think that's a really good way to put it. More with less is how Odell's season will go.
Yes, he's not going to get as many opportunities because he doesn't need to be force-fed targets. On the other hand, I don't necessarily trust the Buccaneers defense. I think they're going to be playing from behind a lot. They're going to be airing it out. I'm excited to see what Jameis can do alongside those pass catchers in Tampa Bay in a Bruce Arians offense. So I am going to go Mike Evans for that reason.
And then also, I mean, like you said, there are so many mouths to feed in Cleveland, so they will be splitting up that coverage. But then, equal side of the coin, haven't we been saying that Chris Godwin is going to be a really great receiver for Tampa Bay for that exact same reason, that everyone's going to be covering Mike Evans and forgetting about little Chris Godwin?
It's fair. I mean, Chris Godwin's going in like the 5th round right now, so obviously people are high on him.
Yeah, and it is that defense that you mentioned that they're going to be behind a lot, which I think is funny because those are your teams, aren't they?
Yeah, Bucks fan here.
Sorry.
That is not a homer pick, though.
No, yeah, he went against that. Wow, so those are great questions. Were there
got
any
a lot
others?
of them.
I got other stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I got more.
Oh, should I be scared?
Rapid fire.
If there's any Steelers question, just know that I'm going to side with any Steelers player.
All right, Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara?
Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey. I am going with McCaffrey there as well. So we both agree. Alex Rocks, thanks for joining us on Instagram. You're welcome. Pudge owns. Coleman all day. Odell or Evans. Okay, we got to that one. Everyone's trashing the Texans O-line.
Yeah, what are you going to do? But I think that Deshaun Watson has shown that he can get the ball out of his hands really fast. So you want obviously a strong O-line in any offense, but I think he's proven that he can do a lot with what he's got.
Yeah. All right. So our boy BG from the original Hooters down there in St. Pete on 4th Street, go check him out. He saw Chubb go in the last pick of the 3rd round. I'm not an asshole for taking him in the 1st round, am I? You are not an asshole, sir.
No. Sorry, I got bourbon all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Not an asshole. That's just sometimes how the cookie crumbles in your draft.
Yeah, I would imagine you're going to do quite well in that draft if you saw him. Well, I guess you just saw him in a different league going the last pick of the 3rd round. That's too late for Chubb. If you got him as your 3rd player, be ecstatic about that.
Well, also, it depends on who you're drafting with. Because, I mean, you can be drafting with a work league where there are half the people that aren't following football as closely as you are. So the ADP will shift just because people are not as familiar with who they're drafting. In my draft, I had someone ask me why no one was taking AJ Green, and I lied and I said, I don't know, he's a great player, but I didn't also say that he was injured. So it just depends on who's doing their homework in your league. If hopefully you're drafting with people that are paying attention, which makes it more fun, I think, than just playing against with people that don't know what they're doing.
Sure.
Then it'll hold its actual ADP, which is what we're referencing is ADP for people that are drafting going according to the stats, not just off of, I like that team.
No, I know. Absolutely. All right. From Nikki J, can we trust anyone on the Giants other than Saquon?
I think that there's still value with Evan Ingram because he's got to take some targets somewhere. I know that the receivers are all either half suspended, half injured. There's a lot of question marks there. I think that Evan Ingram proved a lot of value last season. So I think that the only other person to own for me in New York would be him. It's not to say to not pick up one of the receivers just on the back end of the draft, but I think that of high value picks, obviously Saquon and then Evan Ingram for me.
Yeah, I'm going. I've got Ingram as like my number 4 tight end, right above OJ Howard. So I certainly trust in him.
You would put him below OJ Howard.
Well, he's a Buccaneer. You can't trust the Bucs.
Sorry, you guys. I can tell that Levy's a little biased in his analysis right now.
Just don't believe in my team like you do, Sam.
Hey, I'm sorry that my team is better than yours.
Almost had you last year.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. We got Freddie down in Puerto Rico wants to know our thoughts on Ronald Jones.
Rojo.
Disappointing?
Yeah, not what it should be. I mean, yeah, I guess it's just disappointing. Maybe a late round flyer just to see if there's anything there, but there hasn't even been any hype, anything coming out of camp. There hasn't been any news that's gotten us like excited. It's just kind of sad. Yeah,
it is sad. I mean, especially as a Bucs fan. I mean, the upside's higher with him than Peyton Barber. So Peyton Barber is the starter. If you want to take him in the 10th round and watch him plod his way to 60 yards and maybe a touchdown here and there, fine, go ahead. But I think the upside's higher with Ronald Jones, but don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, which is why maybe a late round flyer, just because he is a rookie, he's young, he wants to prove himself. There is something there. It depends on the depth of your league, though.
I got a defensive question for you, Sam, here on Instagram from Alan. Right. What defense would you rather take, Baltimore or Denver?
I feel like defenses every time, even when you look at the way their stats are lining up in projections, it shifts every year. I would probably go with Baltimore.
All right.
I'm more familiar with their defense, considering they're an enemy of mine. So I know that they can be really strong.
Yeah, but I hear you.
I mean, of the two, I would pick Baltimore. But I mean, defenses are something that I would go literally next to last on, just because you would do so much better streaming what's off the waiver wire than losing a possible flyer on someone that's going to explode later to fill out that flex spot.
Yeah, I agree with that strategy. I'm a defensive streamer without a doubt. Like I don't ever pick a defense or a kicker before the last 2 rounds. And in fact, if I'm a commissioner of a league, I don't even allow kicking in defense in my leagues anymore. We've just added extra flex spots or whatever. But it never ceases to amaze me when every single year, even this year, I said I've done 4 or 5 drafts already. I've seen kickers in defense start going in the 8th round, which is absurd. These are the leagues that I win. These are multi-$100 entry fees, Sam, and this is happening.
Okay, this is also what answers the question I had for you as to why you're in 14 fantasy leagues. No, I get it, because you're spending all this money because you're going to earn it back from these people that are drafting defenses so early. It's just no.
I am a profitable fantasy entity, Sam. That's why I play in so many leagues.
You're just playing fantasy football with a bunch of children and taking their money. You're stealing money from babies.
Pretty much. Hey, I get invited. I mean, I got to do what the people want. If they want to play fantasy with me, I will take their money.
Oh my God. That's insane to me.
Here's one for you from Pudge Owns on Instagram. Drop Pettis for Pollard.
Drop Pettis for Pollard?
Tony Pollard.
Okay. At this point, yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
I mean, because Jerry Jones just came out and said, we'll have a fresh Ezekiel Elliott for the playoffs. Sorry, playoffs? Playoffs? What's that coach's name that goes off about playoffs? I forget. He's a Jets coach. But when I read that across my phone this morning, I was like, well, I'm really glad that when I did draft Zeke in one of my leagues, I drafted him late. So I'm completely covered on running back in that league, thank God. But yeah, I also have Pollard in that league for the same reason.
Yeah. I think it's safe. And Pettis, Deebo Samuel's all the rage out there in San Fran. So I don't know that Pettis is even guaranteed to get much action.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing too, is all about Deebo Samuel's, all the hype train for Deebo Samuel's. I mean, again, someone I would take in the later rounds as a flyer rather than taking a defense too soon. Take a Deebo Samuel's.
Yeah, absolutely. We got 2 questions, oddly enough, on Sam Darnold, which is interesting. So we've got one here in YouTube, our boy Fredley again from Puerto Rico. Lamar Jackson or Darnold in a 20-team league. Bold, sir. And then my boy Blake on Instagram, Jets fan here. Darnold is going to go off this year. Agree or disagree? So 2-part question, Sam. Darnold's going off, and are you taking him or Lamar Jackson?
I'm taking Lamar Jackson because of them legs and them running yards I'm going to be getting. I feel really bad because I do like Sam Darnold's potential, and I had him in my Dynasty League, and I did have to drop him this year for another player. However, someone, I don't remember who, made a reference to the villain in the first Incredibles movie, and now whenever I see him, that's all I think of. What was that name? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Sorry, I lost my train of thought here from all this Trump talk in our YouTube comments.
Guys, take that elsewhere. We're talking about football. Come on.
Yeah, seriously, who cares?
We're not going to answer literally any of those questions. We are talking about football.
Sorry, I got off track there.
That's okay. Basically, I was going to go into a long story. We'll go short story. Lamar Jackson over Sam Darnold all day. And as for the Jets fan that's excited about your quarterback, I like that you're excited about your quarterback. He's probably going to do very well. You've got some new assets on the team. He's going to do better than he did last year.
Yes.
Is he going to be the number 1 quarterback at the end of fantasy? No. But he's going to do way better than he did last year. So I agree with you there.
There you go, Sam. I agree. Sam Darnold's going to have a nice little year. I love Robbie Anderson. I think they need Herndon back in that offense. But as far as the question goes, in the 20-man league, those are 2 pretty good options in a 20-man league. I'll take Lamar Jackson. The upside's a lot higher, in my opinion. From Dumbbell, Barkley and Thielen, or McCaffrey and Evans in a PPR league? Oh, that's tough.
Say it one more time.
PPR league, Barkley and Thielen.
Okay.
Or McCaffrey and Evans.
Probably Barkley and Thielen.
Yeah, that's a really tough question. I'm assuming this is dynasty or keeper or something like that, but I'll agree with you, Sam. I'll go Barkley and Thielen over McCaffrey and Evans.
And I just think that the floor is just slightly higher with Thielen. I know that he's going a little bit later than Evans in drafts, but I think that the floor, for me at least, is a little bit higher there. And then, especially if this is PPR with McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I just him, he's just been so solid for Cam Bang, dang and dunk right there. You're just getting so many catches. So, oh no, he was paired with Barkley.
Yeah, it's Barkley and Thielen. I mean, Thielen's a 100-catch guy.
Still, yeah, Thielen and Barkley. Sorry, I get distracted with McCaffrey. He's just so pretty.
All right.
So that's why I make this so difficult. It's them blue eyes.
Tater is joining us live from a lake house somewhere in Michigan. Tater, happy birthday.
Be drunk right now, Tater. What are you doing?
He wants to know who has the better hat game tonight, Sam versus Levy.
I mean, mine's backwards. It's about it. I mean, I guess that means I'm a little bit cooler if my hat's backwards.
Yeah, you look cooler. I'll give you that. We got to get you a fancy focus hat, though.
No, I don't have a hat yet.
I did drop the tank in the mail to you yesterday, though.
Sweet, I'm excited. Okay.
Wow, Tate's in there saying I don't know anything about football. This is great. I love it. Wow. All right, so back to the Instagram. We got Trump supporters and YouTube. Nikki is a Dolphins fan. She's wondering if they will be good this year.
Oh, I don't want to say anything negative because I'm excited that you're even here asking these questions. However, I'm not excited about your team. I think it's gonna be a hope and a prayer. It's gonna be like last year where they're there right when you don't expect them to actually be good and they win a game and Monday morning, everyone's like, wait, did Miami win this week? And that's
Right.
going to be how it kind of goes.
Yeah, I don't think Miami's going to win more than 6 games this year. I hate to break it to you, Nikki. Ryan Fitzmagic might bring some of that magic down there, though. We'll see.
He might. He's brought it before. It just depends on the length of the beard, I think, on the amount of magic you're getting.
Yeah, absolutely. If Devontae Parker is on the other end of some Fitzmagic bombs, I will be a happy man because I still believe in Devontae.
How?
The price tag is so low.
With all due respect, sir, I don't mean to laugh at you. However,
we got a Steelers question.
Yay! Okay.
All right, from Pepper Shylock on Instagram. Thanks for joining. Late round, James Washington? Question mark.
Yes. Hashtag yes.
Sam says hashtag yes. I'm more interested in Dante Moncrief still. Sam, I think you kind of agree with me.
No, I keep going back and forth, and I think that maybe it's just the different beat reporters I'm following with the Steelers, but I think I'm going to stick to my guns with Washington. I know, Tate, you're watching, so I'm switching my pick. Don't be mad
at me. No, I think they're both great. Grade, 9th round or later.
The thing is with Pittsburgh, there are so many opportunities that need to be picked up anyways, and Juju Smith was eating them up last year as the number 2 because AB was getting all the coverage. Now it's going to be a role reversal where Juju will still be a big play guy, but someone's going to be a number 2 receiver, and it's either going to be Moncrief or Washington. For me, I think it's going to be Washington because he's been with the team longer, so he's got a bit more chemistry. I think it's going to be him.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So you're leaning Washington over Moncrief. All right. So my boy Garv wants to know, I knew this was going to come up when we were talking about the Bucks, and I'm going to butcher this guy's name, but are you higher on Ugunbawale or whatever his name is over Ronald Jones? Because I'm starting to get to that point. I think this guy might end up taking over the job by the time the season's over.
Ogunbowale?
Dare Ogunbowale.
You know what? I really wonder how to pronounce that. I mean, you're the Bucks fan, so you know the depth here better than I do. I mean, why? I just don't see the value in taking that. There's a lot of value in taking deep players on different rosters. I don't necessarily see that here and going that deep.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I think the Bucks are going to give Rojo a fair shake this year. I mean, he didn't get much of an opportunity last year, and he didn't do much with what he got. So
yeah,
I think they're going to give him a fair shake this year, and the upside's higher there. So,
but I mean, okay, 16-team league, sure. Late
yeah.
pick.
All right. How do you feel about Pat's players, mostly in the early rounds?
I'm sorry, Patriots players early?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to do wrong getting Julian Edelman. He's proven to be Tom Brady's guy. That's not going to change. Sonny Michel, I mean, he's going to be a good producer for you. Aside from him, I feel like James White you can get a bit later, but I feel like, first 4 rounds, Edelman and Michel, no problem. Unless I'm just sleeping on James White.
No, I mean, someone asked me a question earlier on James White. I forget what the exact scenario was. But yeah, I mean, I'll take Sonny Michel in the 4th round all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll take Edelman up in that range too.
Sure.
All right, what else we got here? Oh, my boy Damo is joining us. Damo, what's up? How's it going? Ryan B's got one. Pick 3, half-point PPR. Devonta Freeman, Damian Williams, Kerryon Johnson, and Thielen. Ooh. You got to pick 3 of those 4. This is the problem with 18 leagues.
3? Okay, so it was Damian Williams, Kerryon Johnson,
Devonta Freeman, and Thielen.
Okay, I would not take Devonta Freeman. I would take the other 3.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Thielen and Kerryon.
There's a lot of hype around Damian Williams. He seems to be a big talent, but I mean, Thielen is just so consistent. That would be hard to not take that.
Yeah, I think in week 1, I'm going to lean Damian Williams over Devonta Freeman. I hate to say it.
Don't feel that bad. He doesn't know.
Man, I'm getting roasted for the Rojo hate. Well, I mean, how can you love Rojo? We haven't seen anything yet.
You have to see stuff to believe it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I need
it's
to
not
see
Santa
it to believe
Claus.
it.
You gotta know the stats to see what you're getting.
Yeah, all right. So now I'm getting told how to pronounce the name as well of it's Dari Agubawala.
Well, we needed the assistance, so it's appreciated.
All right, we got a Josh Gordon question. We were just talking about the Pats, but we didn't talk specifically about Josh Gordon. Where are you taking him, Sam?
I feel like 5th round is a good happy place for Josh Gordon.
5th round? Yeah, I'll take him. That's a little bit rich for my blood.
Yeah, probably a little early, but again, it depends on the type of league that you're in. But I feel like that's the soonest I would take him.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing in a league with Tate, for example, you're going to have to take Josh Gordon in the 5th round if you want him, because
especially if there's 3 wide receivers, unless he decides in a three wide receiver league to take 3 running backs to start with.
Yeah, seriously.
Not like we've ever seen that before.
No, I'm not taking Josh Gordon personally till like the 7th round, but I could see the justification for 5th or 6th round. But I'm staying away in most cases because I don't want to pay that 6th round price tag for him.
Yeah, that's bad.
All right, Melvin Gordon prediction from JMO.
All right, let's hear it.
No, they just want to know in general.
Ours. Oh, I would not be surprised if he didn't play this year. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I would say unless he eats a big old slice of humble pie, he's not going to be playing this year because I don't think that he's necessarily worth more than $10 million a year. They're offering him top 5 money, not top 3 money, and I don't think he deserves top 3 money.
Yeah. Also, humble pie, I mean, it's LA that he's in now, and I'm around that area, and I can tell you, people don't eat carbs here, so I don't know that he's going to be eating that slice of humble pie.
There you go. Good point. Another one, the Instagram. Keep them rolling, guys. I'll catch up eventually here. Thoughts on Tyler Boyd? I'm high on him this year from Fantasy Football Fortune.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd is worth a pick for sure, especially with AJ Green out for a little bit.
All right, I got an either or for you then, Sam. Tyler Boyd or Josh Gordon?
Tyler Boyd.
I'll take Tyler Boyd over Josh Gordon as well right now. All right, so we agree there. All right, so we got another Tate in the chat here. This is interesting. Tate C. Edwards. Thoughts on my team? Half point PPR, 12 team, QBs Trubisky and Murray, running backs David Johnson, Joe Mixon, Jacobs and Geis, Diggs, Godwin, Landry, Corey Davis, and Burton is the tight end. That's a stacked team.
That is a stacked team. That says that you wait a little bit on receiver. You balance it out. Yeah, I like that team.
Yeah, I don't think you need any help at running back by any means. Love the combo of Diggs and Godwin.
Yeah, that's a great combo.
Yeah, I mean, then you throw Landry in there as your wide receiver 3. That's awesome.
Yeah. Did he say if it was a 3 wide receiver league or not?
He did not say.
Guys, give us all the details so we can fully dissect your team.
I know, right? CQ, what's up, man? Thanks for jumping in. Sorry, I can't check my text because I'm on Instagram and can't do 2 at one time. So
technology hard.
I know, it's crazy. New nickname for Tater from Damo there, a toasted tater.
Toasted tater. Wait, what was the drink he was drinking that one time that we made fun of him for?
Oh, there's been many. Bud Light Lime.
Oh, was Bud Light Lime?
Bud Light Lime.
Toasted tater on Bud Light Lime.
Midwest Sports, what's up? Thanks for joining on YouTube. Is Patrick Mahomes going too high? Well, let me tell you, in a 1 quarterback league, I've seen him go in the 1st round now. Mm-hmm. I've seen him go in the 2nd round. I've seen him go in the 3rd round. I guess it's just your personal preference. You'll never see me take him in the 1st round. I would maybe reach in the 3rd round after I get my 2 running backs.
Yeah.
In a 2 QB league, I'll take him in the 1st round.
Yeah, 2 QB league, absolutely. I mean, I think, and I guess it's kind of hard because the sample size is last year, really. But it's not that bad to get him super early, I think, because of the return on value of points. But I just think that you're doing your team a disservice to not try and get one of those skill players in the center.
Yeah, I agree with you. You are doing your team a disservice by taking them that soon, but some people take a different strategy. Maybe you hit on a bunch of guys and you take a bunch of young running backs like Kalen Ballage or, Devin Singletary or Miles Sanders, David Montgomery. David Montgomery's going very early, so that's probably a bad example. But you know what I mean? Later in drafts, and you hit on some of these younger guys, then, it could work out for you.
Which could actually pull us back to one of our topics we wanted to cover, which was Rookie of the Year. Who do you see of top players this year? Who do you think is going to be Rookie of the Year? I mean, Josh Jacobs has come out and said his plan is, and the Raiders' plan is for him to be Rookie of the Year. But we've also got David Montgomery, and he brought up Miles Sanders. So who are you leaning towards?
I'm not. I like David Montgomery. I'm high on him. I think a lot of people are forgetting about Mike Davis. I don't think they just paid this man a few $1 million to do nothing. I think he's going to vulture some touchdowns and he's going to get his fair share of looks, especially in the red zone, or inside the 5 or the 10, I should say. But I think David Montgomery's a hell of a talent and he's going to have a good fantasy season, but I'm not reaching to grab him in the second round by any means. The earliest I'm taking him is like the 4th.
Yeah, I would say 4th is a good safe place for him. I mean, for me, Rookie of the Year has got to be Josh Jacobs. And not just because I have shares of him in literally every league I'm in, but I mean, just the proven talent, team's proven dedication to him. All since they've gotten him, that's all they've said they want to do. So you got to kind of lean with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going with Josh Jacobs as my Rookie of the Year as well. So here we go from Giants Heat in the Instagram. Do you like the start of Kamara, Mike Evans, and then carry on?
Yeah, let's not tell you.
Yeah, that's a great start there. Would you take Keenan Allen or carry on in the 3rd round though?
Carry on.
Yeah, I'd rather have carry on over Keenan Allen as well. I'm just big on running backs.
Yeah, I think it's bigger potential for bigger numbers week to week.
Yeah, I agree. Which Chiefs running back do you prefer?
Which Chiefs running back do I prefer? Well, there's just been so much hype on Damian Williams, and as far as the others, I think that you're just kind of throwing darts as to possibilities. So I'd rather go with someone that's at least seen the field, seen the good carries in the preseason, gone with the hype from coaches. So I would kind of lean towards Damian Williams there.
Yeah, the easy choice is to lean with Damian Williams, right? I do like Darwin Thompson a lot, though, as a late round flyer. That's what I'm talking about with these guys like Kalen Ballage that you're getting in the 10th round or later. I keep saying his name, but I keep finding him later in drafts and wondering why no one's picking him up. Maybe they didn't watch preseason, or maybe they're big on Kenyon Drake for whatever reason. I like Kenyon Drake as a player, but he's just never utilized effectively, and he's been banged up. But Darwin Thompson's a guy you can get in like the 10th to 12th round that I think might have some sneaky value this year as like your running back 4, your flex, whatever, when the bye weeks come, or, if there's an injury, watch out. Darwin Thompson's going to be the number 1 waiver wire pickup for sure.
Do you have a number 1 handcuff that you want to pick up anytime you're drafting? I mean, we've talked about Tony Pollard a little bit. Any others for you?
Yeah, if you're drafting Zeke, you have to get Tony Pollard. If you're drafting Dalvin Cook, I think you have to get Madison. I think Madison has standalone value anyway. I think he's going to score some touchdowns down low, but we all know Dalvin Cook's injury history. Alexander Madison's got to be on your radar, right?
Yeah. For me, if I'm getting Aaron Jones, I'm getting Jamal Williams.
Okay. And I think that's a good point because I haven't seen Jamal Williams go in a single draft. And I love Aaron Jones in the 3rd round, though.
Yeah. No, he's going at a great spot. It's just a handcuff that I think that some people might be forgetting. So I'm trying to help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some more QB talk in there. I'm definitely waiting on QB till like the 9th or 10th round in most cases.
There's just so much value later. And I think that with the types of injuries these other players get, you're going to find you're wanting those higher up players sooner.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's another. This is an interesting one. We were just talking about handcuffs or rookie running backs or lower end running backs, whatever you want to say, from Fantasy Football Mechanic. Love that name. Alexander Madison or Damian Harris?
Alexander Madison or Damian Harris? Not sure there. What do you think?
I am going to go with Alexander Madison. Okay. I just think, like I said, I think he's got more standalone value. Now, Damian Harris has looked good this preseason. I like Damian Harris. I have some shares of him. I just think Sony Michel is really the guy to own in that backfield. And we're still talking about Patriots running backs here, right? I mean, there could be a game where Damian Harris scores 2 or 3 touchdowns and then he doesn't do anything for weeks.
Yeah, that's the thing with New England is that from week to week, there's going to be consistent players. And to me, that's Michelle. To me, that's Edelman. But as far as the other guys, you are going to see them one week and everyone's going to pick them off waivers. And then you're just going to see them drop off. And that's because Belichick likes to mix it up. So it's hard for me to go and reach deep on a backfield like that is so up in the air. I'd rather reach deep on another backfield that has more opportunity.
There you go. Well said. All right. So we got a question in YouTube, or on YouTube, cool. I should say. Will Fuller, where are we targeting him? His current ADP is 77.4. Fuller.
Is 6 too early on him?
I'm not taking Will Fuller that early. He's just...
Yeah. I mean, I just think there's other opportunities for better players. You're going to see more volume.
Yeah, I mean, Will hamstring Fuller. You know, he's Mr. Red Q. What's up, Knox?
Sorry, he was knocking something over, so I have to throw him out of the recording booth. And now he's trying to speak in the mic.
I love it.
I've tried to make him a Steelers fan, but I was watching All or Nothing on Amazon the other day, and I think he's a Panthers fan.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
JMO, another question here. Thoughts on my team, 12-team PPR: Breeze, Zeke, Eckler, Adams, Diggs, Ertz, and Landry. I mean, I love that. Like, if you're gonna draft Zeke, go and get a guy like Eckler so you can start him. I don't know who your other running backs are there. Hopefully, you got some more besides just Zeke and Eckler. But I think Eckler is another guy who's kind of being undervalued. Like I personally
makes sense at this point. We're so close to week 1, and we haven't heard a peep from Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's still going in the 5th or 6th round or later in some drafts, and we're a week from the season now, and we don't have any news, so you got to assume he's not playing, Melvin Gordon. So for me, I feel like Eckler had standalone value in the 6th round, even if Gordon was playing in PPR.
Yeah, I mean, even if Gordon had signed something, I would still want to put Eckler on my team for that exact reason. Yeah, it's so weird. People not paying attention.
Right. Who knows? You got to study all year. Here's an interesting one.
What?
You like Edelman. I know I'm throwing a lot of questions at you here. The Instagram popping off. Edelman or Godwin?
Edelman.
I'm still going Edelman. I love Godwin this year, though. But I'll take Godwin in the 5th round, Edelman in the 4th.
Guarantee you Tate would say Godwin right there.
CQ. He said Levy put me on payroll. he's helping moderate the Instagram. Yeah, I think Tater would go Godwin there. Yeah. I feel it. All in on him this year.
He is all in. I think that we have some sort of board bet on him, even some sort of jersey bet. I forgot what it was. We should have written it down.
All right, so we got someone in here. Fantasy Football Fortune is saying Dalvin Cook is ranked a round or 2 higher than he should be, in my opinion. I could not disagree more. I wouldn't call you crazy if you wanted to draft Dalvin Cook at 11 or 12. You know, you can't count on him to get hurt. I know he's got an injury history, but when he's out there, I mean, we saw it in week 3, or was it week 2 or week 3 when he had that 85-yard touchdown run? I mean, he's as explosive as anyone, and he's as good as anyone out there when he's healthy. So you got to assume he's going to be healthy, and he's coming in healthy, and he's going to succeed.
Yeah, there's been no whispers in the preseason as far as like a lingering hamstring or something, which anytime going into week 1, you want to make sure you're hearing that news, just especially for your running backs, because for some reason, no running back likes to do yoga as much as I'm preaching it. You guys got to do yoga and strengthen up those hammies, but we haven't heard anything to make you uncomfortable about Dalvin Cook. So I think people that were spurned last year are probably a little bit hesitant, but he seems all good to go, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Fred Lee's got another one. Fuller, Deshaun Jackson, or Westbrook for wide receiver 3?
Fuller,
D-Jax
D-Jax,
or
Westbrook.
D-D?
Didn't D-Jax just break his finger? It's his
Yeah,
non-dominant hand. It's not a catching hand, but I think he just broke his finger.
yeah. I would stay away from D-Jax for that reason, though.
Yeah, I mean, I know that he's super talented, and these receivers do work with a lot of things, but I mean, something that's going to mess up their hand. I just, no, thank you. I'm going back and forth between the other two. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going D.D. Westbrook this year. I think he's been vastly underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're talking about Nick Foles and we're still talking about the Jags here, but
I think it's the Jags part that has people hung up. Foles has been, I mean, he's been on and off, and he's been on. So I think that he could be pretty good.
I would draft D.D. Westbrook over Fuller and D-Jax without even thinking twice about it. I think, Westbrook's going to return 5th or 6th round value, and you can get him very late this year. People are forgetting all about him, so I'm on it.
Did Will Fuller just get hurt too? No. It was Kiki Cutie that just got hurt.
Yeah, Cootie's not playing in week 1. I don't think.
No.
All right, here's one. So fantasy football 101, football X something. Edelman or Amari then, because you and I both said Edelman over Godwin, right?
Yes.
And then now he wants to know Edelman or Amari. I'm going Amari.
Yeah.
It's kind of risky, though. I mean, Amari Cooper's got plantar fasciitis, and that is quite the painful. Yeah,
that
lingering.
never really actually goes away.
Yeah, it's just all about his pain tolerance.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he's got better feet than Antonio Brown right now, but yeah, I agree with you.
All right, I'm going to answer this one solo because this is a Tampa Bay Rays question.
Yeah, go for it.
Tampa Bay Rays history: Evan Longoria or Delman Young. It's an easy choice. Delman Young was the guy.
Wait. Pause. Delman Young went to my high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
High school. All of the young brothers and even their younger sister, Deanna, they all went to Cam High, which is totally random. But once in a while, we see their moms like Hummer driving around town.
No way. Wow. So Delman Young. CQ, Sam went to the same high school as Delman Young. That's a small world.
That is literally the only connection. Besides that, I've never spoken to him. And Deanna's super cool. His younger sister's super cool. She was our prom queen, actually. Besides that is the only connection I have to the Young family. Wishing them all well. It is a big family, actually. It's a huge family.
Delman Young had very high expectations in Tampa Bay and didn't necessarily live up to them. We saw glimpses of it. And then he went to Minnesota, I believe, and did some good things there. Did some good things and also some weird things. Evan Longoria is a Tampa Bay Rays legend. Easy choice for me, but Carl Crawford's number 1 in my heart.
There you go.
Here we go. Fantasy football mechanic. Gallup is a steal in the mid 11th. I agree. Your thoughts, Sam?
No, I agree. Complete steal at late in the 11th for sure. Solid pickup.
All right. Good choice. Let's see. What's your take, Damo? What's your take on Landry? Have him in a dynasty league that he inherited last year, Sam?
I think he's going to play a lot of that cleanup for Odell. So I think there's value there because there's going to be so many mouths to feed. I mean, there's positives and negatives to that, but I think that there's value with Landry. Also depends on how soon you're getting him in the draft. I think a little bit later you can wait and still get him. But I think there's value with him.
Okay. I agree. I think he's a guy people are forgetting about. A lot of mouths to feed. Yeah. He's not going to be a target hog this year. He's not going to be in the top 10 in the league in targets anymore. But I still think he can be a wide receiver 3, and you're going to get him at a value. So this is a question. This was on our original agenda, and we've had so many questions we didn't get to it. But this is a question from Fantasy Football Fortune. Could Jack Doyle be a steal this year? In some drafts, he's going undrafted. Last time Brissett was starting quarterback, he was a top 6 tight end. So, Sam, before you jump in, I prepared some stats for you on this situation.
Please unfold.
I literally wrote down on my notepad here, why is Jack Doyle being undrafted? He did miss 10 games last year.
Yeah.
When both tight ends, Ebron, however you want to pronounce it, and Doyle were active, when they were both active, Doyle had 150 routes run, 33 targets. Eric Ebron had 101 routes run, 22 targets. And as our friend here on Instagram said, in 2017, he was a top 6 tight end under Brissett. He had 80 catches in 2017. Why is this guy not being drafted?
Okay, well, what's missing from the 2017 numbers is Eric Ebron, as you're saying. So I think that just the way that they like to play there, it's going to always be that 2 tight end set. And last year we saw Ebron being the touchdown magnet there. So I think that at that point in the draft on tight ends, everyone is kind of equal in value for me. So I think whether or not you take Doyle or Ebron, there is going to be value because you have waited on tight end until that point in your draft. But he shouldn't go undrafted.
Yeah, I agree. He should not be undrafted.
Yeah.
I think we're all caught up. Old mustard fingers is what we called Amari Cooper last year, and now he's got Planters Peanuts feet.
Ew. Weird. Oh my gosh. Well, actually, that last question also ties up everything we had scheduled to talk about too. So thanks, guys, for all of your questions. We've covered, I feel like, a lot of different subjects. They were great questions. I mean, thank you so much for your feedback and for jumping in, and keep talking football in our comments feeds, please.
Yes, absolutely. So Sam and Tate will be live every Wednesday night, correct?
Yes, every Wednesday night going forward, taking you into the season. We will be going live 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 3 hours later for Eastern Time. That's 10 o'clock, right? I'm bad at math.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to joining you out there on the West Coast. That Pacific
We're so excited
time zone.
to have you. Yes, welcome to the West Coast. It is the best coast. We have the best weather. Just look forward to it. You do not need any more snow stuff.
I'm looking forward to watching football at 10 o'clock in the morning and not being tired after watching Monday Night Football.
Oh my gosh, I forget that everyone else watches football so late in the day, and they're not in their pajamas watching football. I'm like, how do you watch football not in your pajamas? That is how I spend my Sundays.
I know, right? I'm excited, and we'll be going live every Sunday morning as well to answer those questions.
Yes, those last-minute lineup questions.
Yes, week 1, we'll actually be at the Hooters on Wells Street in Chicago. Bucky's flying up for it, so looking forward to eating some wings, drinking some beers, answering some fantasy questions. But every Sunday through the entire football season, it'll be from 11 Eastern to 1 o'clock Eastern, answering your questions on YouTube and on Instagram, live at Hooters, all that good stuff.
And be sure, I mean, if we didn't cover your question in this podcast, be sure to hit us up on all of our handles. We'll be happy to answer all of those questions for you.
Sam, what are your handles?
I have so many handles. I just realized the other day I need to change half of my names. So on Instagram, I'm at Sam_awesome. On Twitter, I'm at Samantha R. Holt. And our Instagram handle for the Fantasy Debate is at The Fantasy Debate. And then also don't forget about Tater. I know it's his birthday and he's not here, but he's at DTater4.
Yes. Till next time.
He was so, sorry. Till next time. He's not here. So later says the Tater.
See you guys.